Hi guys, I wanted to do Daniel 3:27. Where we're at right now in this time and the events that are happening, you guys, especially this year, we wanted to keep our eyes open. Next year too. 13 in biblical numerics is love. 14 salvation. And you guys always remember our benchmarks and everything. We just watch along the way. But I want you guys to keep your eyes open. And 13 also is rebellion. And you can read about Genesis in the 13th year they rebelled. And then look at the names of it. Okay, you guys, we'll learn a little bit about biblical numerics today too, and draw some of these things out, and we'll just see how it is matching up with God's Word. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. And this is about 12 miles from Babylon. So the 60 cubits, its height, that's 60, and the breadth, 6 cubits. So then the other way would have been 6 too. So see, we got 6, 6, 6 there. So that's 18. And if you take the 12, and 18 is bondage, and if you take the 12 miles of Dura and add it, that's 30. So you see, you got your false redemption here. 30 pieces of silver, Christ, the blood, the temple, remember? And this is a government system. You guys, this is how it applies to where we're at now. And 12 is government rule. Verse 2. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, 1, the governors, 2, the captains, 3, the judges, 4, treasurers, 5, counselors, 6, sheriffs, 7, and all the rulers of the province to come to the dedication of the image of Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. We got 7 of them listed. 7 is spiritual completeness. Fullness. See, it's this own system here. And they all come to pay tribute, dedication, and all the rulers. And then that's what we find in Revelation about the heads of this beast system, and then it stood up and takes the fall, and then it says the second head had all the power of the first beast, and that's when Satan appears. Verse 3, then the princes and the governors, the captains, judges, the treasurers, the counselors, and the sheriffs, and all the rulers of their provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, 1, nations, 2, languages, 3. And that's kind of an instant, just like when we hear of a day, hour, and they give you all those things. Just like Christ, when he comes back, it's an instant. The people, so that's all the people, everyone it's addressing, and it's the nation. See, now it's breaking it up in sections. And then the languages, so it's breaking up the individual sections within that nation. Verse 5, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, 1, flute, 2, harp, 3, sackbut, 4, psaltery, 5, dulcimer, 6, and all kinds of music, you shall fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. That's kind of like they gave us 2 measurements back, remember, 60 cubits for this image and 6 cubits. And then see, now we got the 6 instruments. And that kind of fills the other 6 too. Also, you guys, 666 being in your DNA. And like with gold, God talks about him trying the gold at the end. And the slag running off, you guys. So we got this system set up, but I wanted to give you the gold. And see, Nebuchadnezzar's delivering people up at this time. So I got this sheet here. And it's the different metals. Gold has 79 protons, 118 neutrons. I've got its mass, its isotope, its spin. It's got 6 different energy levels. These energy levels tell a story too. We got first energy levels 2, second one's 8, the third one's 18, fourth is 32, fifth is 18, and the sixth is 1. And then when we look at the melting point up here, you guys, and if we add the melting point up, this 1064.43, like when Christ returns and he cleanses by fire. We got 6 plus 1, 7, 11 with the 4, 14, 17. If we take 7 plus 1 is 8, that's new beginnings. And it just depends, like, on the numbers, you guys, how far you want to take it. And 17 is victory. See, and then we add that up. It's victory and new beginnings at the melting point of gold. And it's boiling, and that's when you start melting that slag off, 2807. So that's 10, 8 plus 2, and then the 7. So we got 17 again. Victory and new beginnings. And there's some other ones, but I just wanted you guys to see that. And then I got a story on these. When you add this up, this tells kind of like how Christ came. When you use these numbers and you do the breaks in between. I wanted to stick back here with this. I just wanted to show you guys that. And that's that image of gold. Like, and that applies to it. And there's a lot of other numbers that come out of that play right into the story. So we got the 6 instruments, you guys, and just like we got these 7 rulers over the 7 dominions, it's 7 areas of control. We've got this system set up. And whosoever falleth not down and worship shall the same hour, see, this is the hour of temptation that we're all going to go through, guys, and God's going to be there with us, be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore at the time when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, and psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down. And notice there was only 5 instruments mentioned here. They worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. That's 5 instruments. See, these are the people that was bound, and 5 is grace. They were bound to the grace of this instrument. See, 6 before, and if you look at it, those were the leaders and the people called. See, they were in the weakness of man. They were part of the system. They knew it. And then when you look at the instruments go off, they announced the 5. I mean, the 6 was there, but they announced them because this was the people bowing down that was in deception of it. They were being misled. There's a lot, if you stop and slow down and look at God's Word, you could get a lot out of it. It just depends on how much you want to spend time in it. A lot of people will zip through it, and will read it like a normal book or a normal story, and God's Word takes you really far, guys. It just depends on how far you want to go. Wherefore, at the time, certain Chaldeans came near, and accused the Jews. And those are all the people that were worshiping God. And this is going to be verse 9. They spoke and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, the dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. And now we got 6 again, okay? And we'll have to pick this up in the next one. But he's saying they won't bow down to this system. See, this guy knows what's going on, and he's mad that these people aren't paying attention to the system.